AR-15 rifle that he was shooting the night of this incident. Have you?
Call in this tip, and will that money be going to the person who called in that tip?
The money.
Was he tired?
Hey guys, we're gonna let him get through his statement and the U.S. Marshals, and afterwards we'll take questions.
We now have this man in custody. He was caught hiding in a closet underneath some laundry.
You mentioned multiple agencies. Was DHS?
They can rest easy now because he is behind bars, and he will live out his life behind bars for killing those 5.
Still available. He should still have them somewhere, or he will be some money. But no, a lot of different clients, just TV stations, just print outlets. And that means when we ultimately write. The many cases that I've seen, over 4,000 cases that I found in my tenure there that were never investigated. I knew of over 100 sexual assaults of women that had never even had a follow-up investigation done. And I read some cases and even met with some of the mothers of children who had been sexually abused. All this, nothing was ever done. And what happened, and you build a case law of every case that they worked in, because you would take that to the DA. To see a concentrated area of corrupt and dirty law enforcement was, I joked with some of the people, it's like, I understand why people hate cops.
They catch them too.
Yeah, I bet. I know the big ones.
I'm not sure because when the screaming and all the commotion went down between us, he ended up being right. So here's where the bullet holes came through the fence. That one's just one single bullet. So when you got that many shots through a fence, that ain't by accident. That's intentional. The second call out that night, my wife asked what has to happen to somebody got to die before y'all do anything about people just random shooting, and my wife was told pretty much so.
So help me understand what you mean.
He ever thinks about or really cares about, but his jobs have got to be done, and that's our calling. When we do make calls out in the precinct, a lot of times, unless I have a ride-along with me or my deputy rides with me, you're alone. And it could take up to 30 minutes or more for someone to get to you in case you did have an issue out there where you needed backup.
There's no follow-up. I mean, the fact that there's just no law, there's nobody to support us, there's no help. And without that, there's a breakdown in the system.
This was the only bag that had money in it that had an actual evidence bag. There's still money's missing because there was a Regina Crawford who was after my situation. Found it at the, he says armory, but that was a 2025 office. So we are in need of an agency to come in here and to look at the injustices that have been done through our community.